Hey, what's up, guys? Stock market and Bitcoin experienced another decent-sized volatility lately, but it looks like we slightly recovered from that. In this video, we will take a look at Bitcoin market, then I will explain how Bitcoin can reach up to $500,000 per coin. S&P 500 is in green today, slightly recovered after that devastating 6% drop last week. The main reason why the market took a bullish view again is because the Federal Reserve said yesterday it would begin to buy debt issued by individual corporations instead of the broader index of corporate bonds in the United States. In other words, Fed now will be able to directly take an ownership of the company and bail them out since we start seeing a large number of bankruptcies across the United States. Some of the biggest names in corporate America already filed for bankruptcies, such as Gold Gym, 24 Hours Fitness, JCPenney, J.Crew, Model Sporting Goods, and many others. Because of that recent one-day sell-off, all asset classes took a hit, even Bitcoin. Bitcoin dropped from $9,500 to slightly under $9,000. That's more than 5% drop in a single day. But over the weekends, Bitcoin recovered and went back to the current price of under $9,500. Bitcoin is not new to wild volatility. We got used to seeing double-digit losses or gains in either direction. But what it looks like, it is highly correlated to the stock market, at least in the short term. When stock market goes up, Bitcoin goes even higher. And when stock market goes down, Bitcoin usually goes even lower. This is exactly what we have seen during this illness when it spread in the United States. Stock market dropped by 35%, while Bitcoin took slightly deeper dive and dropped by close to 50% during the same time frame. But we also cannot ignore the fact that when we look at the bull market, S&P 500 increased by 5x or so since the end of 2009 housing bubble, while Bitcoin increased from almost nothing to the current price of $9,000. As Bitcoin becomes more and more mature, adoption will spread and network effect will increase. It will take time to see Bitcoin in hundreds of thousands or even in millions of dollars. Let's take a look at this recent interview with Max Keiser and what he has to say about his Bitcoin price prediction.
Most people think of Bitcoin, they think of the complete opposite of hard money. They would probably think hard money is gold. Or honestly, Max, they'd probably think hard money is US $100 bills, when in fact you would probably tell them that is slowly depreciating to nothing, especially as more money is printed. But how would you convince, I would say my grandma, but my grandma's passed away, my aunt in Denver, Colorado, that the Bitcoin is something that could really be a game changer for her life if she invested in it?
Right. Well, there's three forms of money really. There's fiat money, like the $100 bill. There's gold, and then there's Bitcoin. So the fiat money, I think we can easily appreciate, is just paper. There's nothing that backs it. According to the New York Times, Paul Krugman, who's the economist over there, when asked this question about what backs the U.S. dollar, he says, well, men with guns. Okay? So if there wasn't the U.S. Army, if there was no Pentagon, forcing people to take the dollar into countries around the world, like Iraq, Iran, Venezuela, or ever, it would have no value. But in other words, the U.S. foreign policy is accept our dollars or we send in the Marines, right? It's just, there's no, and we know now printing trillions and trillions and trillions of them, and they can print $6 trillion in 3 weeks. Then obviously that doesn't have any value. It's interesting that the amount of taxes collected in America last year in total were roughly $3.5 trillion. And the Fed printed over $6 trillion in a day, right? So the question becomes, why do I even pay taxes? If you can just print trillions like that, why are you bothering me for taxes? What's the point?
Wow.
The point is that they don't need people's taxes. They don't need people to work when they can just print for themselves as they do. So I think the case against fiat is pretty clear and understandable. The case for gold, gold it's been around for thousands of years. And, why did gold become the store of value and the medium of exchange that it is over the 1,000 years? Because It has great store of value in that if I get paid gold today, that gold I can use it to buy something tomorrow or next year or 5 years from now. So it maintains its purchasing power. It maintains its value. The cost of a suit 300 years ago might be an ounce of gold, and the cost of a suit today would be roughly an ounce of gold, right? A very nice suit at $1,800. But nevertheless, it's maintained that purchasing power. So it has this long storied history to it. Plus, it also has properties that were talked about by Aristotle. It's scarce, it's portable, it's divisible, and it's desirable. This is what Aristotle spoke about 2,700 years ago. He talked about gold as being the perfect money. So now let's talk about Bitcoin. First of all, does it fit those Aristotelian criteria? Is it scarce? Yes. Is it portable? Very, very portable, much more portable than gold. Is it divisible? Extremely divisible, much more than gold. Is it fungible? That's another property of gold that was talked about at that time. It is fungible. It's probably, that's one area where it's not yet as equal to gold. It's used by people as a store of value, primarily at this moment because of its scarcity. And going forward, as you see the fiat money kind of disappear and people looking for alternatives, they of course they're going to go to gold, but as gold source, it becomes harder and harder to source gold, and that's becoming the case, is that the premiums on gold start to move up, and gold becomes harder to source. What's the next closest thing to gold that you can put your hands on that will offer store value, medium of exchange properties? And this brings you to Bitcoin. Now, from there, you kind of dig down into the next layer of the technology, and you ask yourself, what gives it this hard money aspect? Why is it considered hard money? You have to look at it as the expression of this enormous global network of computers that are working simultaneously via the protocol to maintain the network and maintain Bitcoin's monetary policy. It has a very strict monetary policy of certain amount of coins being generated every 10 minutes as part of a disinflationary monetary policy that extends from 2009 to the year 2140 and slowly seeps into the ecosystem, the financial ecosystem, these Bitcoins every 10 minutes. And as this occurs over time, the network, because the desirability to obtain those coins goes up as the fiat money world collapses, the network gets stronger. The amount of computer power or hash rate continues to go up every year, every quarter, to maintain the solidity and the security of that network. Right, when my recent rise in the forecasted price of Bitcoin to $400,000 has to do with Bitcoin's place in the global Forex market, particularly as it relates to gold. So I believe that Bitcoin will start to take on gold in terms of its dominance in global Forex and finance. And gold is approximately $8 trillion in value. So if you extrapolate that number back, you come up with a Bitcoin price of between $400,000 and $500,000 per coin, which I think is really the most likely scenario. I always look at the compounding rate of Bitcoin, and it's been compounding at roughly 1% a day over many years. So you just extrapolate those numbers and you come up with a time. I try to discourage people from trying to overly time the Bitcoin market. I prefer try to get people to dollar cost average and just stack sats every day. Because if you try to become a market timer or you try to be a technical analyst, you typically miss out on most of the gains. It's better just to buy and hold, or hodl, as we say.
Max believes that Bitcoin can reach up to $400,000 to $500,000 per BTC. The main reason behind his predictions is that he compares Bitcoin to gold. Bitcoin is the best performing asset class by far for the past decade, and it also best performing asset in 2020. It outperforms gold, silver, crude oil, and any other commodities and even stock market. So what we might see in few years is gold flipping. The current gold's market cap is at around $8 trillion. Bitcoin's market cap is at around $174 billion. So gold is currently 46 times higher in price than Bitcoin. If Bitcoin would go 46x from here, we would see Bitcoin price skyrocketing all the way to $440,000 a coin, and it would have approximately the same market cap as gold. For that to happen, we are assuming by default that Bitcoin is a better money than gold. Well, let's examine the facts. Gold has been money for thousands of years. Gold is durable. Gold scarce. It's a store of value. It's also fungible. It's not very portable if at all. Try to transport gold from United States to other countries and most likely it will be seized. Gold isn't very divisible. You cannot buy groceries for gold coins. Let's look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is durable. It lasts forever and never needs replacement, repairing, or downtime. It's scarce. There will only be 21 million BTC, and unlike paper money or gold, everyone knows exactly how much there is at any given time. It's portable, it's weightless, it has no smell, and it can even be carried around in your brain. Imagine you can carry billions of dollars in your brain and no one would ever notice. It's verifiable. It cannot be counterfeited, so it does not to be double checking. It's divisible. You can divide one Bitcoin into 100 million bits called Satoshis and spend them one by one if you choose to. And Bitcoin is fungible, meaning is interchangeable. But of course it's not as fungible as US dollar, since US dollar is preferred mean of exchange. So Bitcoin does have better properties of money comparing to gold. Since it has better properties over time, demand will increase while the inflation of the new supply will gradually decrease. Therefore, we can assume that over the long time, Bitcoin will overtake gold, which means it should reach up to $440,000 per BTC. Let me know what do you guys think about Bitcoin versus gold, and what is your Bitcoin price prediction. Also, let me know what do you guys think about this new added style. Leave your thoughts in the comment section below, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't.